Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
With the big, bold flavour of HP sauce, making breakfast legendary.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Gareth Richards.
Oh, I didn't like that pause.
No, I nearly said
awful.
Alan Cochrane out of habit.
What day is it, Gareth?
Saturday morning!
Anyway, if you'd like to text the show, you can do it on 8 12 15. You can follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website. We're reeling. We're absolutely reeling on the show today. We got the papers this morning, and Tom's gone.
I've supported the show since the start. I'm shocked and disappointed. I had no warning, see?
And we've got him on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Here he is.
We'll probably be able to get him on the show now. He's got a bit of a spare time. Yes, Tom Jones has been dropped from The Voice.
He's been axed. And he's not happy, and he's been replaced by, Boy George.
Yep. You know, it's, I got a copy in my hand here of the Sun newspaper, and it says, what about this? BBC sources said Sir Tom was axed because show chiefs felt he had become stale.
Oh, that's what the smell was.
Yeah, they're supposed to wrap him in that big plastic body bag thing at the end of the show, not just leave him out.
You've got to follow the procedures.
It's kind of hard.
Poor Tom.
No, it is. I feel sorry for Tom.
He said that he had put it in his diary in good faith.
Yeah.
Like he does every year.
He said, I put the time in my schedule to be involved.
That's difficult when you put it in your... there must be some tribunal. If it's in your diary, they have to pay you,
And if it's in pen, what's he going to do?
I think he should get a photographer round to the house today to take a picture of the diary with the dates marked out. So Tom looking sad yesterday with diary.
He'll have to get rid of all those women first before the photographer comes round.
He hasn't got time for them anymore, has he?
He has now. I bet the wife's thinking, oh, at least I knew where he was on a Saturday. Oh, poor
Linda.
Tom.
Yeah, but he said it was substandard behaviour by the BBC.
And they got Paloma Faith and Boy George on the same show. Are they trying to encourage more people to get a collar TV licence?
It's all gone quite fancy dress, hasn't it?
It has.
Yeah.
Wow, it's going to be absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
They should get that woman from Kids. Whatever was that charity that went down the toilet?
Batman.
Yeah, let's go Super Collar.
I'm sure that's how you can refer to it.
Can you not
That
refer to it?
charity that went down the
You
toilet.
can say that, 'cause it's news. I think that's all right.
It's news, but just not in the traditional sense, darling.
No. But not as we know it, Jim.
Well, exactly.
So poor
Tom. He'll have a lot of time on his hands.
Yes. Although I did find it. I watched a couple of episodes of The Voice last time, I think, and it did feel a bit awkward because at the end, he's 75 years old.
Nobody's denying it's awkwardness.
Like, he's a 75-year-old man and a living legend.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I felt like, particularly the Welsh young people who are on it, felt like they had to choose him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the way, if you're at a disco, wedding disco, and your grandfather was there,
Yeah.
and you really wanted to dance with the person you really wanted to dance with, but you had to dance with your granddad.
You got to dance with your granddad.
Even though he'd
Fair
gone
enough.
stale.
The BBC obviously didn't feel this obligation to dance with Grandad. I like that he's
That's
gone
what
on
I thought.
Facebook, though. That's impressed me.
He's on the Facebook.
He's on Facebook, Tom
He put a
Jones.
message, and he was on the Twitters as well.
I wonder if his Facebook used to be like all in black, and then about a few years
Yes.
ago it suddenly went white. His face.
Frank, he tweeted. He said,
He tweeted as well.
yes. He said, shocked and disappointed. No idea, no conversation, no warning. To the fans, thank you for your support.
Oh, he's still wearing it then. I sent it to him really 2 years ago. Well, I'll miss him for one.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
It was inevitable, Frank. Ian Angle was going to come up with something. Morning, Frank. Tom will have to change the entry in his diary to "It's not as usual."
Yeah, Ian Angle, it's not unusual.
It is unusual. Probably say it's unusual. Just workshopping it.
It's
a good start, though.
Okay. Anyway, so I feel sorry for Tom. I think I could share his pain this week. I went to see David Baddiel live.
Well, that's not a very good opener, is it?
Why?
I'll share his pain this week.
No, but this was my pain, not Dave's.
Yeah.
I went and saw Dave's show, which is very funny. I recommend.
Yes, I've
called,
seen it.
My Family, Not the Sitcom.
It's excellent.
In which he discusses his family in detail, I think it's fair to say.
Oh, graphic.
So afterwards, I was sitting in the bar at Soho Theatre with David Baddiel and our shared management.
Yes.
And a woman came over who he knew, some young woman, and she was chatting, very friendly, nice person, and she said, "Are you a comedian as well?"
Oh no!
No, look, yeah. No, look, it's fine. Fine.
Why am I getting a distinct impression it's anything other than fine?
Why am I sweating then? That's what I want to know.
You are actually visibly sweating on your shirt.
No, it is fine now. It's absolutely fine.
I would have absolutely ended my life at that moment if that happened.
I thought about ending hers. No, I was fine with it.
What did she think? She thought you were an accountant, Frank. She thought you were his financial advisor from Birmingham.
Yeah, maybe. But,
he got a special deal. It's a bit cheaper than outside London.
I did it very well. I did it in a kind of a, you know.
You didn't.
I did.
Did you 10 minutes? I would have done 10 minutes of killer.
I did.
Tell us exactly how you responded. So I'll be the lady. Okay, I'll come over. Oh, so are you a comedian as well?
Yeah. 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 It's like that.
Sounds like you really gave us some zingers there.
I'm going to have to take this shirt off now. It's actually just...
I didn't have a CV with me. But anyway, it was that. And then afterwards, she was chatting. She's she's a young woman, but very confident in her ignorance. And I said, "So what do you do?" I thought, yeah, come on.
Yeah.
I said, "So what do you..." She said, She said, "I'm a producer." And I said...
can we just end the show now?
Sorry, I've just been sick. Someone needs to clear this up here, definitely.
And I said, like David Furnish.
Frank.
Fair enough.
Yes, I know exactly what you meant, but why do that?
I know, but best of all, she said, "Who?" And suddenly I felt better. I thought, well, at least if Furnish is in with me.
Yes.
In the...
Is she just like Keith Richards in that all popular culture has just passed her by entirely?
It's just a mishmash.
Well, she knew who Dave was.
Oh.
Okay. But I think he did say he was working with her dad or something like that. Perhaps I shouldn't be giving too much away. Anyway, I'm sure
often these people say they're producers and
she
not
seemed,
really.
Don't get me wrong, she was nice. I'm sure she is a producer. She seemed a very nice person. I just, no. Anyway, I'll tell you what it reminded me of. I had to do a thing recently for a TV thing. And I had to dress up as a giant parrot in a shopping centre.
And this lady didn't know who you were.
No, I know. Amazing. I had to dress up as a giant parrot and ask people to sign a petition. And I had to invent what the petition was for. And I had a giant... People just walked straight past me. They didn't even say no. They just walked straight past me. And because in the parrot suit you couldn't see my face.
Right.
And I remember thinking, how did I live like this? How did I cope with just people just walking past like that? So it was a good... it's all a good, it's humbling. It's a great leveller.
Yeah, it's great for you.
Great leveller, a parrot suit. I don't know if you find that. So anyone at home who's, if you've got a teenage child who's getting a bit full of themselves, get them a parrot suit, get them out there, and they'll see what it feels like to be obscure. Okay, that's the parental stuff out the way.
Frank Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Anyway, my shattered ego was raised up again when I spoke to someone from the Birmingham Post who told me that I feature on an owl
What do you mean?
in the city centre. They've got a thing called I think it's called the Great Hoot, and it's, you know, you get it. A lot of cities do it now. You get the same animal appears all over the city with a different pattern on it.
Yes.
You seen this before?
Oh, yes, like they've
No,
got...
I don't venture outside London.
Well, they did it. They've done it here with elephants. I think they did it here.
Yeah, lions, I think I've seen, all different colours.
Have you house and lions?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure you have. If there's anyone whose city has done lions in that way,
You're calling me a liar.
I call you a liar.
I'll Google
This
it.
is great stuff, guys.
Thanks. So that was the voice in my head. It came in there. So anyway,
So you're an owl.
there's an owl called Alfred. Owlfred. Get it?
Oh, strong work.
And what they've done with it, they've sort of brought the Birmingham Walk of Fame to life. So its plumage, each of its feathers is a different Birmingham celebrity.
Oh,
Obviously, they've had to repeat a bit.
Yeah.
so they've got Noddy Holder.
So
So there's,
yeah.
there's half a dozen Noddy Holders and 3 me's and
Yeah.
18 Ozzy Osbournes and so on. And that is... that
covering owls.
constitutes its plumage.
Gus
Just
McCarra.
one owl,
Is he
just
on there?
Alfred. Oh, I'm sure he'll be on
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, Alfred. So I thought, well, that's something, isn't it? Okay, that woman doesn't know who I am, but I'm represented in mock plumage.
And you're still... No one can take that away from you, Frank. You're still on the Walk of Fame outside Flair's nightclub.
Yeah, don't you think that a feather is a sort of apt symbol for celebrity? Light could be blown away at any moment.
Yes,
Anyway,
this is true.
so that, and then I spoke to another woman from the Express and Star, which is the other local paper, and she wants to send me a flag. The Black Country now has its own flag, which this had passed me by. See a loose touch when you're down south.
Yeah.
And I thought that's it. I come from an area called the Black Country, which is outside of Birmingham. Called that because it was covered in soot during the Industrial Revolution. Anyway, so they said, she said, oh, it's a great, and it's a beautiful flag. It's sort of red and white.
Was it full size, the one they sent you?
Well, it hasn't arrived yet. I'm checking the.
Well, they best hurry up.
Yeah, and it's got chains across it, black chains across.
Sounds a
And
bit
I thought
sinister.
I could fly outside my house and be a little message to the anyone passing from the S&M community. But she said that she said, will you fly? I said, she said, do you promise you'll fly? I said, honestly. She said, okay,
can't.
great. She said, there has been a suggestion that it celebrates the slave trade.
Right.
Which,
because of the chains
Yeah, the chains. thing.
symbolising slavery.
Well, what are the chains for?
Well, because they used to make chains in a place called, certainly in Cradley, but I think a few areas in the Black Country, they made chains. That's what they did.
And that was the most positive image they could think of for the
Well,
place.
yeah,
Is it to
making-
remind people to lock up their bikes?
Yeah. I mean, they could have found something nicer that came out of Birmingham, surely.
It's not Birmingham, it's the Black Country. This is
Oh,
the point, you
whatever.
see. So it's about industry.
Lisa Stansfield they could have had. She's
No,
lovely.
she's
She's gone all
Rochdale.
around the world.
Don't get angry with me.
There might be a Rochdale
Just because
flag.
just because the subtleties are lost on me.
Rochdale flag would be a pink background with just a black kiss car coming down the middle. With Lisa on
I
it.
don't think you can put a flag up in Hampstead with those chains on.
Do you have a flagpole in your house?
I can get one.
Okay. I've got a picture of the owl here on Twitter.
Oh, have you?
Looks lovely.
Can you spot me?
I'll blow it up.
Okay. No, don't blow it up. If it's blown up now, you'd at least be questioned, wouldn't you, by that? Surely.
An owl's been blown up, but Gareth hasn't claimed it.
Yeah, you have to phone up after and say, yeah, I blew up the owl.
Just a figure of speech.
Yeah, the pro-slavery movement blew up the owl. Can I say, by the way, that Absolute Radio are officially anti the slave trade?
I'm very glad you
Officially.
cleared that up.
Yeah. whatever you may have heard. We're not. What
are you saying?
I hate it.
What on earth is wrong with you?
I hate it. The slave trade.
Yeah. Good riddance.
Yeah, me too.
Is it one of your pet hates?
Yeah. I don't know that it's gone. Anyway, we shouldn't go into whether it's gone or not.
No, of course we shouldn't.
It's bad.
Frank Skinner, Emily Dean, Gareth Richards.
The Frank Skinner Podcast from Absolute Radio.
So we've had a controversy in the world of sport this week.
You have?
I imagine there's been several.
Yes.
In tennis. Are you a keen tennis fan?
I'm not mega.
No, I don't follow it myself, but it's there's one of
Oh,
the...
well, that's the end of that conversation. So what have you been up to, Frank?
You like tennis, don't you?
I can take it all either.
there's
It's
been...
not for us, is it?
No.
It's not for us.
No, it's a posh sport.
Yeah.
I like the
And
ceremony that
maybe-
goes with it.
Yeah.
You know, the clothes and things. Anyway, as you were.
So, Nick Kyrgios. I've got it wrong already, haven't I? I've got it written down. I've been practicing the names.
Have you? Oh, good on you.
Well, you know...
Good on you. Embarrassing.
The main problem with this
Punditry.
story is there's so many
there's
consonants.
so many names.
So many consonants involved.
1970s men. I mean, these foreigners and their names.
No, but they are tricky. There's... So, Nick Kyrgios.
Yeah, what's on
Stan Wawrinka. And
Yeah.
I've shortened his first one to Stan.
Why did you say shortened?
Let's
like that.
don't think you have to list the dramatis personae. It's not a Shakespeare play.
Accident
Okay,
followed
yeah.
by a bear.
I can put them in as we talk about. So what's happened is Nick Kyrgios is the new bad boy of tennis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Who was the last bad boy? John McEnroe's been the only
Well,
ever
that's going
bad
back
boy.
a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andre Agassi was
He wasn't a bad
He
boy.
wasn't a bad boy. His hair,
he had
just...
long hair.
Well, he didn't. This was the problem. It was affixed to his baseball cap.
Really?
Yes, he's admitted that in his autobiography.
Yeah, that's
I
why
loved
you said.
it.
You remember that time he played in that game and he had a tam o'shanter on and he'd had his hair dyed ginger. Yeah.
Also, and his Rastafarian
He used to get
period.
so-
Yeah, it's all very.
Does make sense now. You mentioned.
no.
And then he
Yeah.
had that St Patrick's Day phase with that big foam hat.
Do you know in his autobiography he said that when he was a baby, and he absolutely maintains this is
Is
true.
this Agassi, by the way?
Yeah, Andre Agassi, the AA man, as I call him.
Oh,
He,
first name terms with him.
Yeah, his dad made a mobile.
Yeah.
Not as in a phone. He made the things that you hang over a cot. He made one out of tennis balls, and he got this little toy tennis racket, which he used to secure to Andre's baby hand, his podgy baby hand. And Andre used to lie in his cot hitting at these tennis
Wow.
balls. That's what he said.
So he started training as a baby.
Yeah. What about it? Oh. Now Mario Balotelli,
Yeah.
the footballer, his dad
Take your word for it.
hung a cow's behind over his thing and strapped a banjo to his hand.
Oh.
And he never managed to make contact.
I like it.
No, but it's true about Agassi. That's what he says. And a lot of them have got these mad parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, they're very ambitious. the
Ivan
Williams.
Lendl used to tie Ivan up in the garden to make it, so he had to practice and all that.
Well, you don't have to be tied up in tennis.
He tied him
is
to a
that?
post. He's on a lead, I think. He wasn't
Like
completely.
on like a swing ball.
It was
Maybe he was just playing swing ball.
so that he couldn't go in. He had to.
All right.
Terrible.
Well, you
it's-
say that. He's done all right out of it.
Oh, that makes it all right, doesn't it? This is the Joe Jackson argument.
Yeah. One of my dearest friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick Kyrgios, though.
Oh, here we are, we're
he's-
back there.
Back there.
Is he the bloke who killed the cat?
He was playing Stan Wawrinka in
You
tennis.
sure it's not Warrenker?
I'm sure.
Julian
Okay.
Warwicker.
I listened to one news article and noted how they
You
said the
listened
names. I mean,
to
I
a
One
news
assume-
news article.
On Reuters, was it?
Is that how you consume your news? You listen to it.
Listen to a news article.
I was listening to a very interesting news article the other day.
We'll have to come back to this while Gareth gets his breath back.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
So,
There's a tennis match
Yes.
between Wawrinka.
and Kyrgios.
Okay.
Yep.
And Kyrgios, the new bad boy of tennis, he,
Oh,
wears,
yes.
he wears pink headphones.
Yes, he does.
I
Okay.
don't like that.
Well, to be fair, that's not why he's the bad boy. We'll get to that.
Yes, well, to put him off, so he's done some sledging,
Oh, yeah.
which I've discovered is a thing where you try and put off the opponent
Yeah,
by
it's,
saying...
it's a cricket phenomenon.
Yes.
I haven't
Is
heard
it
of
trash
it in tennis.
talking? Is
Yeah,
this-
trash
right.
talking. Yes, I was mostly in cricket. Okay, and what he said was, now that he...
I like the unprofessionalism. Imagine a tennis correspondent saying, "Oh, it's mostly in cricket." Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, carry on, Gav.
Basically, so there's another tennis player called Kokkinakis,
Yeah.
Too much information.
Thanks for the tip.
Tanasi Kokkinakis.
Yeah. Come on.
I'm gonna
You're
have to
better
take
than
over.
that. You're better
Sorry,
than
so
that. Gav.
Kokkinakis had the physical... He says, and I'm changing the word he used to
Yes.
had the physicals.
Good,
he
I'm
says,
glad.
Kokkinakis had the physicals with your girlfriend. Sorry to tell you that, mate.
In mid-game, he said that.
Yeah, during the game.
That's my favourite bit. Sorry to tell you that, mate.
Yeah.
I love that.
it's
Is
the
he Australian?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's Australian. And it's the perfect crime because at first he might have thought, oh, he just said that to put me off. But then he pretended to apologise for saying it.
Well, it's not the perfect crime because it got picked up by a microphone and broadcast around the world, Gareth. It's very far from the perfect crime.
No, but as tactics go,
Yeah.
it's a very good way of rattling someone mid-game.
Is it?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think
gonna
I'd
be
go
on-
for that.
Be on your mind, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
He could have come up with a better insult. What about yours, Frank? You've had some great ones. What about when you called Chico a foolish devil? that would have been much better.
That wasn't an insult.
Do you play tennis with Chico?
Yeah. It was, no, I think we hear so much now about the will to win and all that lot. It's quite a clever tactic. Is there a suggestion that it might be accurate or...
Well, Kokkinakis did go out with Donna Vekic, who is the person who
Worst piece of gossip ever.
who Wawrinka is currently going out
Oh,
with
well, if
her.
you went out with her...
Yeah, I mean...
He's just guessing, you just assume.
Yeah. And...
That Polish Heat magazine.
Yeah. I actually subscribe to Polish Heat magazine. It's very good.
and Kyrgios and Kokkinakis.
Oh, God.
stop it.
come- What he said afterwards. What about when they approached him afterwards? And it was awful. I mean, I say awful. I loved it. They asked him, did you see the clip?
Who they asked
I have
who?
to say, they asked Kyrgios.
Oh, yeah.
They said, we saw what you did. They
Yeah.
basically confronted him with what he'd done.
Did he say, see what I did then? Is he one of those people?
No, he came up with the most brilliant defence. He went, I don't know, I just said it.
Well, you know,
That's great.
heat of the moment.
Yeah. He said he was getting lippy with him.
He said
I feel sorry for that. Sorry, Gareth. No, come on.
I was just going to say, yes, he said he was getting a bit lippy with me, and I kind of said it in the heat of the moment.
When do they have these conversations? Because they're quite a long way away from each
Yeah,
other.
it's not-
Is it just when they come up to the net?
Yes, when they come up to the net,
Yeah, they have to shout at each other.
they save it up. Yeah.
And there's an umpire in the middle on the high chair, listening
Yeah.
to everything, so it's not good. They're not going to get away with it.
On the high chair. Has he got one of those trays with those cups that you can't spill? And a big bib on that says umpire. If I was an umpire, I would get a bib that said umpire, which I wore for every game. You know, they don't join in enough, the umpires. So when they go up to the net, we should be watching for what they're saying to each other.
Yeah. They'll be coming out with all sorts.
Your,
You gotta find-
your mother, under the pretext of keeping a bawdy house, is a receiver of stolen goods, and then back out, and then you've broken that guy.
Yeah.
It's
He got fined £6,400.
$10,000.
nothing to them, is it?
He spends that on Calvin Classics in a year.
Spends that on pink headphones. I don't know if you know that club.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
So, the woman that involved in all this, the
Yes.
woman who's been
Yes.
gossiped about,
Yeah.
she, I read a quote from her, and she said, I don't want to be the next Sharapova or the next Wozniacki.
Yeah.
She says, I want to be the first me. She said, even though I do look like them.
Oh.
Now that reminds me, Charlie's not in the room at the moment, but when Charlie first started, after 3 weeks, I could tell she was waiting. I could tell there was something on her mind.
It was a terrible moment.
She said, well, look, everyone I've worked with said I look like Hilary Duff. Like, she was furious with us.
Frank, I don't even think she came straight out. What she said was, well, I think it's obvious who I look like.
Yeah, I thought, it was something like that. And she's, don't get me wrong, I can't really remember what Hilary Duff looks
No, I
like.
don't know who that is.
Well,
But,
Charlie's a stunner. There's
You
no
don't know who
denying
it
it.
is. You know who it is.
Not really.
You don't know old Duffo. Oh, okay. Anyways, but the thing is, if you look like somebody, you just have to be patient until someone else says it. You can't just come out with it.
No.
So, saying that you look like Maria Sharapova is shh.
Oh,
she comes.
He's
She's
come
back.
back in.
Oh,
Hot, isn't it?
I haven't noticed it before, but do you know who you look like, Charlie?
Sir Edmund Hillary.
Hilary Duvet.
It has gone a bit tensing in here, I must say. Yeah, I was talking to Emily about, there's a bloke, do you remember when Sharapova played Serena Williams?
Yeah.
Gareth shaking it. I don't know why I looked at Gareth, obviously don't. But you know who they are. Do you know who they
Yes,
are,
I
those
think-
two
yes.
people? And it said there was a bit of an extra niggle because they'd both been out with the same bloke
Yeah.
previously. I said to Emily, he's not a man who you could say that he's really got a type.
No.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Gareth Richards. Text the show on 81215. Follow the show on... Oh, my voice went a bit. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website. Went a bit knit and sawney.
You're all right. Sound like Jeremy
Do you know
Paxman,
knit and
don't I?
sawney?
After the,
I
Recognise the name.
Yeah, he's a musician.
Yes, I
Very
know him.
famous musician. He's got one of those, like, he got that kind of a voice, and I felt mine went into that. Anyway, it's all right, relax. Everything's okay. I'll tell you what I did this week. I think I feel slightly... I mean, I know it could be a Catholic thing. I felt very guilty that I'd taken part in what is a global deception.
Oh,
Right.
go on.
It had never really struck me before. But
JFK assassination.
No, I was
You and your
I was
topicality.
quite young. I was too busy waiting for Doctor Who was starting the next day.
What was it?
I wore trainer socks
Oh,
this week,
Right.
and I put them on, and I'd pulled them up a little bit high.
the little stubby ones.
yeah. So I pushed.
You pulled them up high.
I'd pulled them up a little bit too high, so I prodded them in to the train, and I thought it's the first time I realised they are a lie, aren't they? Trainer socks.
Why?
Because what you're pretending that you're not wearing socks.
Yeah.
Because it looks quite sexy. It's sort of Katie Hill.
Sexy.
Katie Hill on Blue Peter,
Thanks, Frank. But you in a
Sexy.
trainer sock, sexy is not the word that springs to mind.
Well,
I'm afraid.
why deny that you're wearing socks? What's the motivation behind that?
All the sex. all the
just a minute.
Okay.
Come on, Emily.
No, it's a bit like with tights, okay?
It's not a bit
Well,
like
it
if I'd been
is.
putting tights on this week, I wouldn't feel I'd taken part in a deception.
Well, it's a deception. You're pretending those are your legs. And they don't look like that. The legs. Do you see what,
You
do
mean
see
the
what I'm
colour? You mean
saying?
the colour?
Yeah.
The evening out of all
Exactly.
the blemishes.
The imperfections.
But when
Okay.
you wear those socks, that is your legs.
Yeah,
So
it's your
You're pretending
ankles.
you're not wearing socks.
What you're saying?
Why don't people want
What you're
people to think
saying is,
we're-
I'm
we're
the
socks?
kind of
Yeah.
person
Yeah.
who can just chuck on a pair of trainers. Just chuck them on, pair of trainers, and I'm out. They're chucked on. And I don't have the kind of feet that would smell so much that I'd have to incinerate them after like a week. That's what you're saying. But of course, the truth is, that trainer sock is absorbing a hell of a lot of filth
Yeah.
coming from out of your pores, and then they get washed. But the idea that they hidden away, so that means people are being pressured, young people being pressured into wearing trainers with no socks on, thinking that that's what we're all doing, and
Yeah.
it's a lie. That's what I hate about it.
Well, I blame David Beckham because he went foot commando very early on in the early doors.
Yeah, but it's all right
With the
for
loafer.
professional sports people
why is
because
that?
they can get free stuff.
Oh.
So he can use footwear like disposable contact lenses. He can just bin them at the end of the day. But
You're not in that position.
No, I couldn't live with that. I used to win. We used to have these when I was at college. We used to have these sweaty foot competitions because we had one of those. What do they call them? Parquet floors.
Oh yeah.
Like a wooden floor. But it was like a matte finish, it wasn't VAR. And if you put your feet on it and take them away, it's all a bit Man Friday. So
That's why they started varnishing them.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're not varnished. That's just perspiration. So we'd sit and we'd take a shoe off and we'd all put our foot in. So we put like 7 or 8 feet in a line on this wooden floor, and then you took your foot away, and whoever made the darkest mark won the sweaty foot competition. And
How are things on the dating front? back then?
I was like Steve Davis in 1981. I mean, no one could get anywhere near me.
People say how it's bad that kids are just on iPads and phones.
Yeah,
nowadays.
exactly.
I'm not sure.
I could honestly.
Parquet floor sweat competition.
iPads.
Honestly say we made our own entertainment in those days.
Frank, Emily, and Gareth. Alan's in Edinburgh. The Frank Skinner Podcast from Absolute Radio.
We were just talking about. Well, I was talking about the sweaty foot competition, which
Yes.
no one's. And then Daisy, our producer, used to play noughts and crosses on her. Well, wasn't the back of your hand? No. On your forearm, just on dry skin. So you just scratch your skin.
Paper was expensive in West London.
Yeah.
Another reason why the iPad is a good invention, that children no longer have to scratch their own skin for fun.
And then Emily, what did you play?
We played a game on coach journeys. I say coach, it was an air-conditioned...
Coach and horses.
Yeah. No, what would happen is they would say, let's play farmers,
Right.
and someone would take your
No
arm...
one knew what that meant.
Someone
So the
would
back-
put on a up to their armpit rubber glove.
This is the right forum for me to be talking about this.
It's like a shish kebab. So
Someone, stop it, Gareth, they'd take your forearm, the back of your forearm, and then they'd say, the farmer ploughs the field, and they'd scratch you all up the forearm. leaving
not
deep,
scratch, not a break and skin.
Yeah, deep,
Oh, no, I
bloody
don't like this.
indentations.
This is a bit Nightmare on Elm Street.
Bloody indentations.
No.
Yes. And then they'd say, and then he plants the seeds, and then they'd poke into the indentations, pinching you.
Right.
I can't remember what he did
First
then. I think
scratching, then
irrigation
pinching.
was involved or something else.
Yeah.
But I came
Wow.
home with my arm. I mean, it wasn't a pretty sight.
No, that's
mother
awful.
complained
That's
to school.
That's bullying, that is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I bet you look forward to that
Violent.
week when you were lying fallow.
I felt vindicated this week because, as you know, I'm reading Caitlin Moran's book, How to Be a Woman.
You're still
Yeah.
reading that? You've been reading that for about a month. How long does it take you?
Yeah, you've only got the heels so far.
Well, with articles, I have to have them read to me. No one's reading this book to me.
Okay.
And she talked about a game that I remember talking to you guys on the show about before, and both of you denied any knowledge of this game.
What was
but she
it?
had played this game as a child, so I know it's a thing. It's where you're at a party and there's a chocolate bar in the middle.
I don't like this. This
No, it's
doesn't
not.
involve Marianne Faithfull, does it?
And what you have to
I got
do,
that reference, Frank.
Thank you.
you have to put a hat and a scarf and gloves on. If you roll a 6, there's a dice. If you roll a 6, you have to put hat and scarf and gloves on, and then you've got a knife and fork, and then you have to try and eat the chocolate with the knife and fork and the gloves and the scarf, because that makes it harder.
Why does the scarf make it harder?
Well, because you have to put it on. It's just the time to put it on. You've got to put the whole outfit
Oh, there's a
on
time limit, is there?
before you can start trying to. And then the next person, everyone's trying to roll a 6 round in the circle.
Why are they trying to roll a 6?
Because if you get a 6, you get to put the hat and the scarf and the gloves
I don't
on.
want to put the hat and the glove on. I'd rather
Imagine-
not. I'll dispense with the dice, and I don't have to roll
There's a
the 6.
snowman at the window looking in, thinking, I'm freezing here, can I get my clothes back? Okay. What's your time limit? A minute?
Well, no, it's the time until the next person rolls
till
a
the
six.
next 6.
And it's a chocolate on a plate.
And neither of you have ever heard of this? Yes.
No,
Or-
because it's not a thing.
Is it called something?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's hardly Farmer's Arms, like my game.
Yeah,
Which is
or
well loved by
Sweaty
children.
Feet
Thinly
game.
veiled self-harming.
Yeah.
Self-farming.
Cell farming. Because they use the cells,
Yeah.
the
Cells of
skin
the
cells.
skin.
Can I just say Absolute Radio does not condone that or
No, don't
encourage
do
it?
that, please.
No. If we play goth stuff, even. Definitely not.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
It struck me that what they could have done on The Voice is, if he hadn't have said anything, Tom Jones,
Yeah.
is that if the BBC just not ever mentioned that he's left, they just have a chair that never turns round. Like Tom's really just doesn't like any of this stuff. Anyway.
I tell you who we haven't mentioned for a while on this show.
Mussolini.
No, he often gets a look in. Roberta Williams.
Oh yeah, Robbie.
Last seen giving you some advice, Frank, in the doctor's surgery.
In the doctor's waiting room, yeah. Indeed.
And he also he live tweeted his child's birth, didn't he? We said we heard from him then.
I think so, yeah.
But he's recently admitted that he lied in order to get himself out of a parents' evening. He said he's scared of meeting people. He said, I don't like that many people.
Right.
So he said it was
does
either...
he give a number?
That many.
Well, he said he'd either take a Valium in order to go. That would be the only way he'd get through it. Or he'll pretend that he's got to be in the studio. So that's what he did.
Yeah,
Okay.
He said, I don't like that many people. I think he means not a specific amount of people. He doesn't like many people in general. So,
Right.
I mean, this isn't the
It
best...
means a crowd of people.
No, I think
he means that there's not many people who he likes,
Oh, I see.
I think.
Okay.
And-
Well, he's not giving them a chance.
He
Well, no,
said,
that's the
He's either
point. He
not
doesn't want to
there
give them the
or
chance.
he's on sedatives. That's no way to judge people.
he says, it's rare I get into the room and go, yeah, I like that person and that person.
Well, no, it doesn't work like... Well, he certainly used to do that in the old days. And then he'd just have two people go over with nets. And they'd be
How they
taken
do
away.
it.
But you don't do that, do you? I don't go over and say I like that person. You talk to them a bit, and then I say I don't like them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should get to know people before judging them.
He's going to end up like me.
And you have to go to parents' evening, don't you?
Oh,
Whatever.
yeah.
Do you?
Oh,
I wish you
yeah.
told
I mean-
my parents that.
Well, you're supposed to go. Yeah, I think there's a certain
I
obligation.
hated a parents' evening.
I've done it from... I did it as when I was, like, teaching, if you could call it
Did
that.
you?
I did it from that
Oh,
side
wow.
of view. And you get those parents come up to you and start saying, you know, oh, Kirsten has been a bit blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, who is that?
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah. Who is that one? Is that the one with like the... Oh, no.
What would you do? Just make it up?
Well, you had to look at them, look at the mum and think, oh, that looks a bit like that.
Oh, that's awful.
Well, I mean, you knew most of them, but there's always the ones that you know, that never speak in anything, so you just don't know who they
Yeah.
are.
Oh, yeah.
And he has made the mistake also of telling a lie and then talking about it in the newspaper.
So the next time,
They're not going to like him now, are
yeah.
they?
no.
He's going to look around the room and go, that person hates me, that person hates me.
Well, he won't be there. He'll be at the studio, and I'll know he
Yeah.
isn't. Oh, he's complete. Why has he said this? If you're going to lie, you got to stick with it.
Oh, lie big, Hitler.
Exactly. Yeah. Also, I was looking at that article, and I'd forgotten how many tattoos he's got.
Oh, he's got a lot of tattoos.
I don't know. I mean, I can't picture him at a parents' evening. I think if you go to a parents' evening, it's a nursery. Ideally, there should be more pictures on the wall than there are on the parents.
He's just rock star. They don't
yes.
play by our rules, Frank.
But
These people.
So what I did, I googled his tattoos to see what he's got on there,
Really?
and the one that really blew my mind. It blew
What
my
time were
mind.
you doing this? Did Kat come in? You're sitting there typing in Robbie plus Williams plus tattoos plus body.
Robbie
that would
Williams,
really
topless,
give me the creeps.
tats.
It blew my mind. Because he's got written on one arm, he's got 1023, 1023.
What's
Right.
that?
Well, I was astonished when I found out what it was.
Does he hate the oppressive 12s? Is that what time he sets his alarm?
He's actually got an alarm built into his arm in a microchip. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Shall we work out what the 1023 is?
Right, 10
Okay.
/
1023. You have to tell me at the end after this break.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
So, Robbie Williams has got 1023 on his arm. Why?
Well, Gareth, do you want to guess first?
Is it the best mark he ever got in the spelling test? 10 out of 23.
No.
I'm going to...
Is it how many of the polyphonic spree he went out with in the glory days? 10 out of 23.
He went out with 10 of them, didn't he?
10 of them, yeah.
Yeah.
You see, you've gone a bit mock the week. Is it? Whereas I'm actually going for some serious guesses
Good,
here.
I respect you for that.
Is 1023 the day that, sorry to put a downer on things, but is that the day he gave up alcohol, perhaps?
No.
The other way round, you know, the American way round,
Yes.
23rd of the 10th. Is it his wife's birthday?
No.
Is it the day he met his wife?
No.
Is it when he got abducted by aliens?
No.
Is it when he
He
left
was
Take
into
That?
aliens.
No. Should I tell you what it is?
Are we close?
No.
I think we'll just keep guessing.
Can you just give
No,
us
I
more
don't,
time?
I don't know if it's great telly. Well, we're on radio. That's embarrassing.
Go on then.
People at home saying he still thinks he's on telly. The poor,
Oh, should
poor
I wait
soul.
and see if anyone's texted it in? And they
No,
can-
no. Let me tell you.
All right. Oh God, goodness.
The 10th letter of the alphabet and the 23rd letter of the alphabet.
A, B, C, D, E, F,
I'll
G,
tell you.
H, I, J,
J. And then the 23rd.
K11, K.
No. K11, exactly. That's the answer. No, it's J,
W.
J and W, and it's the initials of Jonathan Wilkes.
It's not.
It is his friend, Jonathan
You
Wilkes.
are joking.
No, that's what it is. I love that.
That's extraordinary.
It
Have you got
is.
4 and 2 for David Baddiel?
No,
Oh, is he not? What is he?
I am completely ink-free.
Okay.
That's because I'm friends-free. But that's
extraordinary,
That is
Frank.
pretty remarkable, isn't it? I mean, I don't know if he's still mates with John. You remember Jonathan Wilkes? Do you, Gareth? You're looking at me a bit confused.
I have got a vague memory, but what was
He
his
used to do
profession?
You've Been Framed.
He was Robbie's
Okay.
mate.
Yeah.
Robbie's mate.
Yeah.
Okay.
He got work on the strength of it.
Sort of if you want to have a tattoo, but you don't want anyone to be able to tell what it means.
Well, it's like if Gazza had JFB on his arm.
Jimmy Five Belly.
Yeah.
I'm having to tell Gareth.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I
Well,
think...
it's
in
not. It's
numbers.
like if he
Imagine
had.
how long.
Yeah, the number thing is a bit strange, though. Is he embarrassed of his friendship with
he
him?
wants people
Why
to know
code
about
it?
Well, if he's embarrassed, why have it as a tattoo in
If
the
you
first
came
place?
home and had 4-2 in reference to David Baddiel,
Yeah.
honestly, and then you had to explain it to Kath, what on earth would she say?
I think she'd be confused and upset. You know, as usual. Yeah, he's also got chacun à son goût across his chest, which means to each their own taste.
Yeah.
Which is sort of his way. It's in big letters, like he's saying, you know, I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea. It's a bit... I think he needs to be more confident
What
than
language is that in?
that. That's French, I think.
Oh, we don't know. Whatever it is, it'll be spelt wrong. They always are, these people.
No, I think it looks
Well, how
good
do
to me.
you know?
You
I don't know if it's spelt right.
My French is impeccable. And his is on his peckables.
Frank Skinner, Emily Dean, Gareth Richards.
The Frank Skinner Podcast from Absolute Radio.
On the subject of tattooed dads,
Yeah.
David Beckham has also been in the news this week about his parenting. Harper Beckham was
Yes.
seen out with a dummy. Give him a break, he's doing his best. Hey! Hey! I could be
Very
a mock
good.
the week.
Excellent.
So, Harper
Excellent
Beckham has been in the news.
Is it?
with a dummy. It's his dad! Her dad!
All right, stop shouting. It's early in the morning.
Impression.
No, it's very good.
He's excited. The joke worked.
Back on the radio. Coming back, baby!
Yeah, but you're not happy with it. You're reaching for Mock the Week. I can tell that. This has
Also,
become
I
your-
didn't like it when you said "coming back, baby." Awful.
Yeah. So anyway, she's 4, I think. Harper.
She is.
And David Beckham was seen out with her, and she had a dummy in.
A pacifier, as I believe they call it.
Yes, he called it a pacifier, which I
Yeah.
don't like
He's
very
Yankee
much.
Doodle now,
Not
isn't
an
he?
American man, is he?
No,
Not from America.
I was angry that he called it. When I hear the word pacifier, I think of like the Conciliation Service ACAS.
I think of me in this studio.
Yeah, or the Ombudsman.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to the Ombudsman? These people were on the news every 5 minutes when I was a kid. The Conciliation Service ACAS were
Yes.
always brought in to sort out.
And the banking
disputes.
ombudsman. My friend's dad was the banking ombudsman. I was so proud.
Was he?
Yeah.
Is he a
No one-
superhero?
No one in my family has never ever known an ombudsman.
No, I don't think anyone. We knew of him, but we didn't know any ombudsman.
Yeah.
So great. Is there still an ombudsman? Why is the ombudsman?
What does he do?
I think he pacifies as well.
Yeah.
Does he? Does he say, all right? Does he say, calm down, essentially?
It's a very good question. If there's anyone in who can, if not in, but listening, who can explain,
Anyone?
maybe ACAS still exist.
Yeah.
But anyway, I know what they do.
Yes.
But the ombudsman, I think, comes in and pacifies.
Do you think they have discussions like this on the Andrew Marr show? What does the ombudsman do? Does anyone know?
I know. I'll tell you what would happen on shows like that. They would all talk as if they knew what the ombudsman was, and then
Yeah.
as soon as the show ended, they'd Google it.
Yeah.
But we lay our ignorance out on a. No, it's not a table. It's more of one of those carving blocks you get in a nice kitchen.
I wear mine like a Hawaiian lei.
Do you?
Yes.
Good on you.
Hawaiian lei.
Yeah, lovely. Anyway, so yes, he was upset because he was criticised for giving.
Because
Yes.
he doesn't like being in the papers.
No,
He's
but
shy.
this means that someone
Being
sold
out.
David Beckham a dummy
Yeah.
after all these years. But what do you think about it?
Well, the Daily Mail printed the picture of Harper with a dummy and said that, I mean, the advice that you're given as a parent is that kids shouldn't have a dummy by the age of 4.
Why is that?
It can affect the mouth growth of
Can
teeth.
it? The
it can
mouth
make your
growth?
It can make your teeth wonky and stuff like that, and I think
Oh, is that
that's
right?
the main gist of it,
Oh, just
isn't
get
it?
them fixed.
Yeah, I'm sure that he wouldn't balk at getting her teeth
That's
fixed.
true.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all nonsense.
So it's looked down on, isn't it? When are you
yes.
meant to stop? Is it after a certain period of time then?
Yes,
A
after
year?
a certain period of time.
Okay. Thank you for
Definitely.
that.
I think the idea
Thank you
is
for
that,
confirming that, Gary.
we didn't use one with Boz, but I think the idea is that in the early days when they cry a lot, it's just put a cork in the sound. It's the basically the theory.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mickey Flanagan told me that on the estate he used to live in East London, if the kids were, like that, they used
And not
to...
that sort of estate.
no,
Emily.
council estate.
Oh, okay.
He
Not
said,
Downton.
He said they used to waft them over the unlit gas ring. Till they got a bit sleepier. He
my
must
gosh.
have been pulling my leg, surely. I'm not totally certain he was, but hey. So yeah, he got into... and he was furious, Beckham. Absolutely furious.
He looks very
Oh.
cross
Yeah.
in front of the cameras.
People are touchy about parenting skills. That's,
Yeah, and because he's often Dad of the Year.
Yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah.
He said
often
you
gets
have no
voted
right
Dad of the Year.
to criticise me as a parent.
He says you got no right to criticise me as Dad of the Year.
Yeah.
Why didn't he say that? I'm Dad of the Year. I make the rules.
I don't know if he's Dad of the Year this year, but he has previously been Dad
Was
of
that the
Year.
same
but
year
he-
when Kerry Katona was Mum of the Year? Which
Very
she was.
possibly.
in
He
fact.
could have listed-
So much energy she's got.
What if he listed
Tireless.
his Dad of the Year things, though? I was Dad of the Year. I was Dad of the Year 2004, 2005, 2000.
When I
Get your
was.
medals on the table if you're going to tell me.
I've never even been observed for Dad of the Year.
How do you know that?
Yeah,
might have
they
been
could be
observed.
looking at you now.
Secret shopper.
You might have been observed and then rejected out of hand.
Frank, it's like when you were Rear of the Year. No one can ever criticise your rear.
Yeah.
Well, you say that.
that year.
I haven't managed to keep up the standards.
I think it looks good.
I'd say it's essentially
Just
broken.
been sick again.
It's broken free of its moorings.
Drifting.
Yeah, it is drifting somewhat, but it can still be seen from the mainland. But it's not what it was.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Can I just say 704 has texted to say, Frank, there is still an ombudsman and I might have to see him very soon.
Okay,
Is that a threat?
that's
Love the show.
yeah, that's nice.
That's from
Praise.
John.
But you included praise.
Sorry about the praise, I forgot.
But I like to get praise, but I don't like to read it
No,
out.
I know.
Okay, the ombudsman. Why would you say the ombudsman? Trouble at mill.
Financial malpractice.
Mill practice.
So, David Beckham, Dad of the Year, he's cross about being criticised about Harper.
Yeah.
He doesn't like people messing with his dad reputation. But good
I bet
news.
he was worried about that to set a watchman coming out. Because Harper, I think he named after Harper Lee, didn't he?
Oh,
'Cause,
really?
Oh, yeah.
his
Did he?
favourite book that he's heard about is To Kill a Mockingbird.
It is also a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that
And I
helps.
bet he was a bit worried that the other book would be like a real horrible thing. And Harper, well, this is the trouble, you see, with naming him after the living.
Well, that's it.
Yes. And
Is
also,
she living? No, she's dead.
Yeah. No, she's still
Oh, is she?
still
Okay.
hanging in there.
Oh, I thought she'd have been on Loose Women, plugging the book.
I don't think
Okay.
she's in a position to be.
but good news for David Beckham this week.
Mm.
He's in the new Guy Ritchie movie.
Men
Yeah,
from
Ma-
Uncle.
Yes, The Men from Uncle. He's got a part in that. He plays a projectionist.
I like Gareth being the showbiz correspondent. Extraordinary choice, Frank.
It's just
Okay.
in. Yeah, he plays a projectionist, which you can sort of imagine. And,
I can't imagine it.
Oh,
well, you won't have to.
No,
It's
I'll
in
go
The
and
Man
see
from
it.
Uncle.
go and see Man from Uncle.
And
What'd
Guy-
be great is if the premiere, when you walk in, you walk past the projectionist room and it's David Beckham. They should do that as a bit of one of their little jokes.
But Guy Ritchie's review of his performance is that he said that he's a fabulous actor.
There you go.
Fabulous.
Gone a bit. Got Kwan. He's been drinking from Got Kwan's cup.
I can believe it though, because footballers do quite a lot of acting
Yes.
Really?
in the course of all that being injured stuff and that. It's
Also-
quite convincing.
Playing
But
football
they're
is
not
a
really
lot.
injured.
Yeah, but it's a lot harder than acting.
Well,
come
according to Jose Mourinho. No, so you don't need the doctor to go on. No, often they do a real good job, and when they
Yeah.
get up, they do a bit of that straight in the sock
yeah.
and all. And all
I love
that,
it when
you know,
they do
and
that.
and they've had no pain at all.
Wow.
When I did Doctor Who, I think I drew a lot on my supplementary benefit office performances in the 80s. You know what I mean? You got to use everything.
So he'll
When
be
you're an
fine as long as he has a part where he has to trip over a lot, maybe.
Yeah, I bet you in the projectionist thing,
Yeah.
he bangs his foot and suddenly goes down, rolling about. on
Goes
the
down
floor.
really hard.
Yeah, exactly. Then he gets up and just they do that thing. They slightly straighten the boot out a bit.
Oh, they always grab their face as well. Stop grabbing their face.
Senior projectionist! Senior projectionist!
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Gareth Richards. Text the show
dear.
on it. I was trying to fight it, but I'm talking through a film.
Oh, Frank.
I hate it when people talk through the film.
I hate it when they refer to it.
Text the show on 8 12 15 if you will. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio if you like. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website if you fancy it.
Yes. But, it's been a big week for my hometown of Bournemouth this week.
Is it
shall go
because
now.
it's your first week in the Premier League?
No, it's
you know
this
that?
week. I didn't
Yes,
know
yes,
that
that-
started. Yes.
Is that the
Yeah.
cherries?
You'll know soon enough when the town feels like it's been hit by a Viking invasion.
Yes, no, they were in The Guardian. There's an article about Bournemouth in The Guardian, and apparently it's the new up-and-coming place to go. and start a business.
Oh.
Yeah, they reckon
Why, you sound like a candidate on The Apprentice trying to pitch something.
pitching Bournemouth.
Yes.
Yeah, they're calling it the new, instead of Silicon Valley, it's a Silicon Beach.
Okay.
But I think it's not sand, not actually made of silicon.
Does that mean you've got a big sort of computer industry there?
Yeah, there's a big media.
It's a digital hub.
It's a digital hub, and they want it to be one of the top 20 digital global hubs.
Oh, let me know how that works out.
That would be nice for you.
Well, the bungalow's going to go up in value, Frank. Are you still in that bungalow?
No, we're not in the bungalow now.
Oh, where are you now?
We've got a maisonette.
Lovely.
Yes.
Bungalow still, Frank.
I suppose we've got a
Bungalow by any other name.
Because my girlfriend's called Mason and she has a child. Is he a Masonette?
Yeah.
Might have a
Lovely.
Or
duplex.
if she had backing singers, they would be the maisonette.
Yeah, they would, yeah.
Have you got a garden?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it's not... Ideally, we would like a grassy space for the children to play, but it's paved
Okay.
and overgrown with bamboo. Need to get a panda.
Let's not talk about our unattainable dreams.
And Derek Newland, which is the bit I'm excited about.
Is that an area of...
No, Derek Newland, he's the artistic director of Pavilion Dance Southwest.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't you even know that, Frank?
Pavilion Dance Southwest.
Get with it.
Okay.
Bournemouth is moving up from a place where people came to
Well,
die.
it's not going to be on the south coast anymore.
That's not going to help the tourist industry.
You
It's
do,
not by the beach anymore.
but don't you do about 20 minutes about it being a place where people go to die in your act?
Yeah.
You're going to have
God.
to change your act.
Yeah. You're
Nightmare.
You're going to have to bring in software.
Okay, so if you've got any jokes about Bournemouth being a thriving digital hub, text in now to Absolute Radio.
I imagine a lot of the old people wear software.
Yeah, it's definitely mostly. Anyway, Derek Newland said it's moving up for a place where people came to die or build siren castles to a place that will be the cutting edge of creativity in the 21st century.
Wow.
So I should be able
Brilliant.
to
Well,
think
you
up some
say
new
this,
jokes.
but I saw this story,
Right.
and I decided to look in... Is it called the Bournemouth Echo?
Yes.
Do you want to know what the 3 top stories are?
In the Bournemouth Echo.
Yeah. Someone had a small car accident after being distracted by a spider.
That's got to be you,
We
Gareth.
do get big spiders.
Okay, that was the main
that's
story.
probably
Really
off.
big spiders.
The second story was a former Curry's is being taken over by a toy store.
Okay.
And the third
That's good
story
news.
was
I've got 2
someone
children.
left a pan on and the fire brigade were called out, but it was a false alarm.
Okay. Well,
don't
that's
think
good,
I-
isn't it? Because that means they can concentrate on their technology. Because nothing else is happening. Any place where you're swerving to avoid a spider
Yeah.
is not somewhere I want to live.
Yeah.
That sounds terrifying. How big are we talking?
They do seem to get, particularly in the bungalow, we had big spiders.
Well,
back
of course,
in the bungalow.
because they knew there was no stairs to take on, they were drawn in.
I once saw a spider so big, and I was so frightened by it. You know, I had a physical reaction where I could hear my blood pumping through my
Oh,
ears.
yeah, yeah.
Such a strong physical reaction.
What did you do? Wrestle it to the ground?
I hid,
Okay.
swerved. I
You
swerved
attacked
to
it,
miss
didn't you? Did you attack it?
No, we used to catch them and then catch them under a glass. But that one, I had to get it under a bowl and then run down the street to disorient it.
That must have been in the Echo. Surely.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
Frank, I don't know, how do you find being a performer, and how does your partner respond to having to comment upon your work?
Well, Kathy's my sternest critic,
Really?
certainly.
Yes.
And she will say, I mean, I once did a pilot for a show. And it wasn't great, I'll be honest. And I was anxious that she was in the audience, and I knew she wouldn't lie. So she came over, I thought, what's she going to say? And she said, they did a great job of covering up that spot. And that was all she said. That was she'd found the plus, but that was it.
Oh, no.
So no, she if she likes it, great, but if she
Yeah.
doesn't, she'll tell me.
Yeah, I'm often conscious if Laura's in the audience, and I just think about her cringing at my every word. And I've been in the studio this week working on a recording of one of my comedy
Look,
songs.
if you don't want to come to the parents' evening, Just say it.
Oh, it's the old studio switcheroo.
It's upstairs in our upstairs room. It's not a real studio.
Okay.
But I spent all day working on
That's quite an achievement in the bungalow, though.
It's not in the bungalow
Oh,
anymore.
right, it's in the maisonette.
I'd spent all day working on it, so I wanted some feedback. Because the good thing about stand-up is you get straight away feedback.
Of course.
But with other things, you don't get feedback unless. So, and Laura's like, "Oh, I've heard that song before. You know, what do you want me to say? Oh, you're a genius." And I'm like, "Just listen to it."
I thought you said it was a new song.
No, it's a new recording of a song that I've done previously in a show.
Okay.
But I've never recorded it before.
I see.
So I was like, look, because Laura gets self-conscious with me watching her for a reaction, so I said, well, we'll just start it, and then I'll go out of the room, and you can listen to it. And she's like, I've heard it before, though. And I said, no, I've done new stuff in the second verse. I think you'll like it. It's
If
experimental.
you don't mind me saying, you sound very high maintenance. And that's coming from me.
I think that would be fair. I've married a lovely, easygoing person.
Yeah.
To balance that out.
Have you still got that sign on your door that Laura put up for you that says keys, wallet, and all that?
This is absolutely true, Frank, isn't
I
it?
don't have that anymore. No.
Okay.
But it is still necessary.
Yes. Okay.
Anyway,
so the
so I
song.
sat her down and got her to listen to it, and I'm going to play you what she heard.
Are you?
And you're going to hear the chorus and then into the experimental second verse.
This is unbearable.
The song it's a breakup song.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it's a song, the conceit of it is a man has been broken up with, and everything reminds him of the girl, and he finds something particularly in his fridge. He goes in the fridge and something smells funny, and he finds out that it's the last thing that she bought him.
Okay. I have it on my desk. Shall I play it?
You can roll it.
I'm going to turn my chair around like Tom Jones in The Voice already.
Well, if he'd have been left in the fridge, he'd still be in the show.
It's called it's called This Ham Is on the Turn.
Okay.
Just like
Okay.
Tom.
Oh.
This ham is on the turn. It's on the turn.
This is the chorus.
We left it too late. You think that we'd learn. You think that we would learn.
Into verse 2.
What's that bit?
Oh no.
What's happened?
The file corrupted.
Oh, no.
Laura's left by herself listening to it. She thinks I'm having a breakdown.
How long did it go on for?
It went on for the duration of the 3-minute song.
I
Just that.
thought that was an 80s special effect.
I thought you were going
quite
into
like it.
For everything turned. Oh dear. So, but she listened patiently and said, "Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about you just saying turn over and over."
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but
it was a disaster.
Frank's turned his
You've
chair.
turned.
I'm going to turn my chair.
Oh no, they're all on the turn.
my chair is on the turn. Yeah. Well,
Look, 10 out of
nice,
10
though.
for effort.
I like it.
Yeah, no, it's good. That isn't how I meant it to sound.
But it's fabulous production as well. It's
Thank
kind
you.
of
It's
dreamy.
Not fabulous production.
I liked
it was
it.
awful.
No, I didn't like that bit, but it was dreamy, wasn't it? Dreamy sounding. I felt like we were in contact with another civilization.
I'll take that as a
Yes, yeah,
positive
people
review.
will be flooded now with people trying to get.
He might get a record deal. Imagine if Simon Cowell, Psycho, might call in.
It's not. Well, I'm open to offers.
I tell you, I bet you Susan
Beggy,
Boyle
beggy.
has covered that before the end of the week.
Oh, this hammer's on the turn.
Yeah.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Boys, there's been a rather strange conscious coupling, I'm going to call it, of late, recently.
Conscious coupling
Yeah, as opposed to conscious uncoupling.
Oh, yes.
or unconscious coupling. When
No.
people are unconscious, that's no good
No,
at all.
no.
Just get back to the
Okay,
bungalow.
No, no.
That'd be a good catchphrase if me and Gareth were a double act. Get back to the bungalow.
It's a masonette.
Are you familiar with the work of Ed Sheeran?
Well, I say that. I can't name. I don't think I could name anything he's done, probably.
Lego House. Class A teams.
Stop talking about your property portfolio again. thought you said it was a maisonette a minute ago. He's the very sweet little red-headed one.
Yes, I know he is. He's massively successful. I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Sorry if I
he's-
downplayed him.
But he's
He's a little bit Middle Earth, which I like about him in the nicest possible way. But in fairness, he's meant to be, I've heard this said of him, he's meant to call the nicest man in pop, the kindest man.
kind. I love that. You don't
really?
hear that word used much about celebs.
Kind.
he's very
no,
kind.
That's true.
Anyway,
Good.
Is he kind? Have you got any examples of his kindness?
I come suddenly under
just-
terrible pressure. And
Well,
attack.
you see, once you're used to news
I
articles...
have, actually.
You have.
really?
Go on
Yes.
then.
Brilliant.
How was he kind?
For example, once Ed was like walking through a mall,
Yeah.
and
In a mall?
he was in a mall, and this girl was singing one of his songs.
She was
and-
like singing one of his songs?
Yeah, and Ed said, "Oh my God, she's singing my song." So he got up with her and took her by surprise.
You're joking. I'm in a mall.
Unconscious coupling.
And he serenaded her, and he ended up singing the song with her.
Oh.
That is kind.
kind of him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's
What-
always doing stuff like that.
I have to say,
man.
since I've had a ginger child, I have become so pro ginger. It's on. So I just, even though I don't
Yeah.
know his stuff, I'm just happy that he's doing well.
Yeah.
Do you think ginger men are kind?
I think all ginger people.
Extraordinary question.
Not all ginger men.
Okay.
Sorry, are you 6 years old? Who asks that? Are all ginger men kind?
I'm just happy
I'm
that
working with a
gingers-
toddler.
I am sort of to
I like to
gingers.
say I'm childlike.
You know how
And we love you for it, guys.
Joanna Lumley was with the Gurkhas. That's how I am with gingers. I'm sort of their champion.
She loved those
Well,
guys.
never mind
Or
all this.
Susan Sarandon with the Brutal Murderers.
Oh, yeah, and Lord Longford.
Death
He was
Row.
a fan of them. Wasn't
Yeah, I'm sort of like that with the gingers. So
He loved a psychopath, Lord Longford.
Did he?
Yeah.
Bless him.
Frank, Emily, and Gareth. Alan's in Edinburgh. The Frank Skinner Podcast from Absolute Radio.
We were talking about kindest man in pop, Sheeran.
Kind Ed Sheeran.
Yeah. So he has now been linked with Nicole Scherzinger.
Wow.
You know her?
Yes. But former Pussycat Doll.
Hot like me.
And Shamazing judge on the X Factor.
Yes.
Do you say Shamazing?
Yes.
That's what she says.
It was
Oh,
one of her
bless
catchphrases. She said Shamazing.
You could use that as well.
Yeah,
I thought it was a Yiddish thing,
Sheeran.
but it's not apparently. I thought she was
it
talking
not?
my language. It's not Yiddish.
No. I shouldn't
Oh,
think she uses a lot of
Shamazing.
Yiddish,
No.
Nicole.
She went out with Lewis Hamilton.
Of course.
And then she got bored of his constant, endless after-dinner anecdotes.
Really?
So Peter Ustinov, you can't
you-
keep him quiet.
if you-
Stop it, Lewis. I don't want you telling that one again.
Wouldn't you be a bit self-conscious about your driving if you were going out with Nicole? I mean, on the motorway, she'd be going, "Come on, you're waiting for?"
Yeah.
And I wouldn't like that. I don't think I could go out with someone who'd been out with an F1.
Well, there's an age gap.
Is there?
Yeah. She's 37. He's 24. He...
Age gap. And is it unkind to say that there is a discrepancy in attractiveness? I mean, I don't know who I am to say.
You
like,
obviously don't understand celebrity.
how do you mean? How
Well,
do
in
you
a
mean?
way, he's more attractive because he's doing better.
I beg your pardon.
Well, obviously, doesn't
So you're
always apply.
You're saying he's become more attractive because he's successful.
Yes, I am saying that.
Yes. So let's hope he stays successful.
Well, I hope so, certainly. It's good
Because he's
to
the
see-
kindest man in pop.
Yeah, I'm glad that he's sort of sticking the ginger flag in there, if you know what I mean.
I am as well.
Yeah. Well, don't look at me. No, I mean, that's not what I... No.
They're just in the early stages of dating, Frank.
awful.
No, I
There's
mean,
no proof that anything
he's
like that has
he
gone
has
on.
climbed, the mountain of beauty and said,
Worse.
A lady a mountain,
no, but I'm just saying that he's...
climb every woman.
It's great that a guy who might have been dismissed in the past when he was in the chip shop queue
Right.
is now a guy who can go with the most beautiful women in the world.
Yeah.
He's done good.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Did we get out of that okay?
It's getting hotter, hasn't it, me?
Ginger
Yeah.
Flaggate.
They went to the pub in Suffolk.
Yeah, he knows.
I hate it when really successful celebrities go to the pub.
Do you? Why?
They only go to the pub, don't they? So it'll be in the paper they've been to the pub. They don't want to go to the pub. I don't buy that at all.
I wonder if she wore a baseball cap. That's
I
what
wonder
they
if he had a
always
ginger beer.
say. I thought you'd be nice to ginger.
No, I'd do it. I'd champion it. That's right. I'd rub my nose in it a bit.
Well, Dave Davenport has texted us to say, I support your pro-ginger movement. We've been looking for someone to unite us for many years. We shall rise up and take back what was ours.
You see, and it's interesting that although my beard is what it was, it's gone a bit more Kenny Rogers now. Do you know Kenny Rogers? No, but thanks for the tip.
Yeah.
He, I think it's interesting that I feel that I can lead the gingers out of there because that's the way it works in revolutions. The middle classes go to the poor and raise them
Yes.
up. So yes, that's my theory.
You're sort of a ginger ombudsman.
I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
We've just had a text in from Mark saying Robbie has 10.23 for Jonathan Wilkes and he has 18.23 for Robbie Williams.
Oh, nice.
I don't know whether Mark's just made that up.
Well, Ed Sheeran, who we were just talking about,
Yeah.
he's got one of those bro tattoos where, you know, the idea is that two guys go and get tattoos done that reflect each other like that.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And Ed Sheeran has got that arrangement with Harry Styles.
Has he?
Wow.
Can you guess what they've both got on? I don't think you'll
more
get.
guessing.
I don't think you'll get it.
They have. Is this one of your lies? Like when you worked in James Bond's house or something as a cleaner?
No. It was. They've both got Pingu.
Have they?
Yeah.
Oh, those guys.
Yeah, they're crazy.
They haven't really.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
think he's-
pathetic.
Ed has
That's
got.
absolutely pathetic.
Why?
Because they're grown men. I have Pingu.
Not really.
They're
He's
not really
24.
grown men, are they?
Is Harry Styles 20
You
yet?
should know better. Daisy, the producer's just admitted she's the only person in the studio. I'm going to guess what she's got.
She's got ink.
I can see. I can
know
see
what
the
she-
spider web on her face.
She's got a panther crawling up her cleavage.
What?
I'll tell you what she's got. I'm going to guess.
Go on.
I bet she's got a daisy on her leg. Am I right?
Daisy.
I bet it is.
Of course.
Am I right?
I've got 2.
Two.
Oh my goodness.
Anchor
bunch
on
of
the arm.
Anchor.
What about this? I saw. I was looking at because I've got slightly tattoo obsessed this week. I looked at David Beckham's list of tattoos, which is a long list,
How many's he got then?
many,
Oh.
and he's got on his stomach. He's got a very sort of moving picture of Jesus, sort of crouched down from a painting called The Man of Sorrows. And I thought, well, that is really quite a moving picture. And he's got a few moles on his stomach as well.
Lovely.
And the newspaper, the headline for it was
Like
Holy Moly. God!
I like it when they integrate the mole into the tattoo.
Yeah, I don't think he didn't really.
If I had a tattoo, you know who I'd get to do it for me? Do you remember the woman who painted over that fresco?
Oh, yes.
In the church?
Yes, she turned
get that.
Jesus into an Eskimo.
Yeah, I'd get that done.
Well, Ed Sheeran has recently had an enormous tattoo on his chest, a really, really big lion.
Oh, yeah.
Has he?
Massive lion, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they stick together, the gingers.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Frank, have we got time for a quick visit?
What, to Email Corner?
No, I was going to go to the bathroom, actually.
Oh, okay, fine.
No, email corner.
Sure.
Email corner. What's happening?
There's been a few changes around here.
I think I just had a stroke.
That's my new... Don't you like it, the new jingle?
It's, yeah. I just wasn't
Oh,
expecting
just because it's
it.
me doing it.
Well,
Anyway, I'll read the first email, Gareth. Hi, Frank, Alan, and Emily. Very funny programme the other week. I laughed out loud at Frank's baby lizard joke. Not really, I just wanted him to feel happier, but I did get it straight away.
That's when I said something about having the baby monitor in my
Yeah.
room, because we keep lizards. See, Garrett's laughing. Neither Alan nor Emily got it.
I don't know about his laughing.
over
He
it.
just smiled in a pained way and went, nice.
No, don't get angry because he got it and you didn't. Let it go.
Anyway,
Let it go. Let it go.
That's going in my act now. I've lost the Bournemouth stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, when you were chatting about Calvin Harris designed underwear, it reminded me that I've always thought that Anita Harris should have moved into this market. Perfect name for the job. Bye, Robin C.
That is quite a fine joke.
Anita Harris.
Anita Harris.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Good.
There was a rock and roll singer in the 50s called Wee Willie Harris. But that just sounds like a checklist.
Just have what first name
thank
on the
you,
front,
Robin.
second name on the back.
What do you mean?
On the boxes.
Oh, I see, yes,
Yeah.
okay.
So you
I
know
thought-
which way round.
I thought you were saying about those ones I've got from CNA. Oh, dear. I think we've probably run out of celebrities with the surname Harris. That's going to be good to talk about.
James Harris?
Yeah, not called James anymore.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Dude looks like a lady. Sorry.
Sensitive.
No, God bless him.
I've got
What
ano-
else?
Have we got another time for another email?
Yeah, squeeze one in.
Dear team, having been myself a devoted reader of the show for the last 6 years, my 2 sons have grown up listening and becoming fans in the process. My youngest, George, 7, recently asked what Frank looks like, so I logged on to
That's
the...
interesting because George, I think, is the 7th letter of the alphabet. He's done a bit of a Jonathan
Go-
Wilkes 1023.
Right.
George
it-
7.
Yes. I think it's his age as
Okay.
well, so that's perfect.
That's weird. That's
Yeah.
really fallen into
Spooky.
place. Imagine if he went on to become George the 7th.
Well, that is this
Wow.
George is going to be George the 7th.
How many 7? Is he the 7th one?
I don't think he will be, won't he?
Maybe
Yes.
it's the... What's
I
the
think
name
he
of this
will.
guy?
Yeah. That's extraordinary what's
reader.
happening on this show this morning.
Committed reader in Kinver. It could be Prince William.
Very, very nice
Where
place.
is it?
Yeah, it's sort of Worcester. Well, it's not sort of Worcestershire. It's Worcestershire.
It could be Prince William if he knows that we've been talking about letters of the alphabet and that's what the 7 means.
Maybe. There's a spelling on it.
G-E-O-R-G.
No, it's generally-
How
Is it
much
good?
analysis are you going to
Oh,
do
I
of this
see.
email,
Okay.
you two? Read
Okay,
it.
so my youngest George, 7, recently asked what Frank looks like, so I logged onto the Absolute web page to show him a picture. Oh, he said, he's old. Even older than you, Dad. But he does look like Doctor Who.
Well, it's a
Well, that's quite nice, Frank.
that's a
Yes.
13 to 1 shot.
I hope the fact that you obviously sound
Which
young...
Doctor Who do I look like?
Oh,
he
yeah,
probably
let's
means
not go
Matt
into
Smith. Paul
Yeah,
McGann.
maybe.
Yeah.
Not like William Hartnell. I'm sure
That'd
he
be a
didn't
great
mean-
looky like.
Maybe he's got a movie version. Peter Cushing.
I'm sure it's one of the young ones. I hope the fact that you obviously sound young in the comparison to Doctor Who makes amends for the childish insult. Keep up the good work. Committed reader in Kinver.
Can I say that of son George, whenever anyone bandies the word George about, I always find myself saying George, which is what Jack Regan used to say in Sweeney, George. And whenever the word Lewis crops up, I also go John Thor, Lewis. See? I'm glad we've ended on this high. So anyway, thanks very much for listening. If the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now, just get out.
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.
Absolute Radio.